the Sports Betting Network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss, Paulie Howard, live with you in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Active show coming up over the next 3 hours. Lots of guests, including Wes Reynolds and Will Hill on the NFL and the Pro Football Betting Guide that was released this week. Paul Stone, Best Bets Conference USA in college football coming up in an hour. Jeff Sherman behind the counter, a team that he likes in the East a lot in the NBA. And how about this? George Shea, Paulie, I'll call him the greatest hype man I've ever seen.
Ooh.
Right? Major
Strong.
League Eating tomorrow on the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. Can Joey Chestnut get it back to like 70 hot dogs? Took the year off last year. He's had a couple of down years in a row going in before he took the year off last year, or they said no thanks because you're with the competition.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. I read he preps and writes down like 20, 30 pages of notes for all his intros when he gets ready for tomorrow.
Huh.
He's a legend.
I'll buy it. He did the Circa opening out here back in
great.
2020.
Yeah, he's available. You can hire him, yes.
Sure. He was outstanding.
Yep.
We'll also get into today's Major League Baseball card, one of which I think Cleveland starting pitcher Luis Ortiz was supposed to be on the card today. That's not happening. And how about this? We had David Purdom on from ESPN 2 days ago, and we were talking about the Malik Beasley situation in the NBA. He's under investigation, doesn't look good for him at all, and some games are in question that he played in, and props, et cetera, et cetera. And I asked David Purdom, fast forward 1 year, like how many times are we going to have you on, or when's the next time that we're going to have you on to talk about something like this with a pro player in any sport being under investigation for some betting irregularities? 2 days later, Paulie. 2 days later.
Like he knew. That's right.
He said at the end, when I asked him that question, he goes, my guess is I'll be on way before then. So Jeff Passan's all over this. Purdom with a write-up on the story as well.
I think Rosenthal broke it.
Did he?
I believe so, yeah. I believe Passan gave the tip to, gave the heads up. Congratulations to Rosenthal. But
okay. So Ortiz, under investigation for gambling. He was placed on paid leave by Major League Baseball earlier today amid the investigation into activities. And what is under the microscope this time, two very specific pitches. And do you follow John Boy? You've seen John Boy. You're aware of what they are.
He was all over the Astros scandal.
I tweeted this out. If you don't know and you're unaware what John Boy is, Paulie's exactly right. He was the first person who noticed the trash, the scandal with the Astros back in 2017. Like, this doesn't feel right. Like, why are we banging on trash cans and then they know what pitch is coming? So he's the one who broke that. They're incredible with what they do. He already tweeted out the two pitches in question here from Ortiz. I retweeted it as well. It came, think about this, as Passan tweeted out, in a typical Major League Baseball season, more than 700,000 pitches are thrown. Two from Ortiz had unusual gambling action on them. One was June 15th against Seattle. The other, June 17th against the Cardinals. In both the bottom of the second inning against the Mariners and top of the third against the Cardinals, Ortiz threw a first pitch slider that was well outside the strike zone. The second pitch looked like 50 Cent throwing out the first pitch overall.
That one got a Bob Uecker type reaction line from the announcer, just a bit outside.
Right.
Yeah, it was bad. But this is, how obvious do you want to be? How stupid do you want to be? You want to sound the alarms. Hey, can I get down a significant amount of money, or I would like to bet a nice chunk of money or wager on first pitch of the top of the second or top of the third being ball or hits batsman. You want to sound the alarms. My God, it's incredible. It's like the people with the Porter stuff, right? And I pray to God these books didn't take anything significant on it.
Oh, my God.
And the flag bets were in Ohio, New York, and New Jersey with this. But the other thing that comes to mind is risk versus reward.
Right.
Where it's, you just had a guy a year ago banned for life for the Padres for betting on baseball. You saw what happened a while back with the umpire with that story. And then several guys have been betting on other sports, and they were suspended as well. But it reminds me of the documentary on Netflix, How to Rob a Bank, which is very good. The guy initially is doing this, and the first bank he robs, he gets away with like $14,000. waving a gun around. He goes, what am I doing? I'm looking at 25 years to life for 14 grand. This is ridiculous. Got to shoot for the stars here. But this, to think you're a young guy and you're in cahoots, maybe allegedly with somebody here, and you could throw it all away and face a lifetime ban for what? And then you just got to make it so obvious that of all the things to bet or to give someone a tip, it's going to be this, which is going to be just the alarms are going to go off when you come in. I want to bet this first pitch, top of the second inning, exacta type stuff.
So I have two scenarios in my head, one of which is the limits are so small in a market like this.
You'd hope.
No kidding, that Ortiz is going to flush his career down the toilet to make pennies, right, compared to what he can make as a major league pitcher. Like, that's the hope here. But if it comes out that he is in cahoots, Paulie, as you said, with a group of people who are considered, quote, VIPs at various sports books in these states where they are flagged now, and books, because they're VIPs, they allow them to get down huge bets on markets like this, then the sports books have nobody to blame but themselves. And then they're going to say, well, we caught this stuff. Well, what are you doing offering VIP people huge bets on markets like this anyway? Because you're taking the chance that this could actually happen, much like the Jonte Porter story in the NBA going back a good year now, right? Because he was a nobody in the league, rarely played, and he teamed up with some VIPs who were able to get down monstrous bets on unders for all of his props. And with a guy getting limited playing time, it's going to be like, is he going to score over under 2.5 points? Like, how many minutes is the guy going to play in the game?
Yeah.
Let's get down 80,000 here and beyond that on his props, because I can get down on that because books think I'm a VIP. It's outrageous.
Yes. The other thing that comes to mind is the Al Leiter thing, which, remember, we were mocking and laughing at him.
Well, we'll play that in a second.
So, but that also comes to mind about this, of all the things you can bet too. But it's just a fiasco here. Now, the other thing was, on the heels of this, because we've had quite the week and quite the run, 2 days ago, Shams reported that Rozier has been cleared. I have a trusted source saying not so fast on that as well. So with Beasley, Rozier, and now this, it's not a good run for what's happening with scandals.
No, one right after another.
Yeah.
So you brought it up. This is Al Leiter going all the way back in 2018. For those who don't know, former Major League pitcher, was very, very good. He was in. We mocked him because what you're about to hear sounds completely preposterous beyond anybody's imagination. But this was Al Leiter in front of Congress back in 2018, pleading to not legalize sports betting.
Line that at the Borgata that lighters could ball or strike. That's a product that they may come up with. Denying enough, my buddy says, listen, just throw a ball. I'm not going to throw a damn game. And he throws a bet in Atlantic City, but we didn't know because there's no collaboration. What Brian was trying, what we're trying to allude to, with Sands and Ben Salem, or where's it, Bethlehem. Within 3-hour drive, you can make 5 different bets. If I was Borgata, if I was Atlantic City, I would be damn concerned making lines on this because there's no collaboration of other casinos. In a 4-hour drive, I could have my buddy make a $5,000 bet in Atlantic City, $5,000 in Philly, over in Ben Salem, go over to Yonkers, I don't know, go up to Mohegan Sun, and I got a $500,000 bet to throw a ball.
That was back in 2018. We laughed at him then. Think about that scenario. I'm going to make a 4-hour drive and put a $5,000 bet down on a ball or strike, and then I'm going to drive again 4 hours to make another bet. And at the end of the day, when I have my buddies doing this, the same thing. We're driving across state lines. We're going to make a 4-hour one-way trip, and we're going to have $500,000 on one. If it comes out, though, again, Paulie, that somehow somebody was able to get down a lot of money on this, it's their own fault.
That's right.
I mean, it's total nonsense.
That's right. You said something interesting, too. Mitch retweeted it, by the way. I thought the first pitch was innocuous.
So did I.
The second one's bad.
The second one's really bad.
So this VIP reputation, though, you could camouflage that, I guess. I mean, if you're known as someone who's just a degenerate or bets on anything and whether the girl around the corner is what type of colored dress she's going to have on, that's one thing. Do you do this on a regular basis? But this is just this is a hard sell when you come up and you want anything significant on this particular bet. But you're right about blaming the sports books too, and it goes back to the Draymond Green and the Mikal Bridges stuff. When the people beat you and had the inside information that Green was just going to play the opening tip just to extend the streak and be out there with Steph Curry, Bridges just to extend the streak, and people coming in betting $3,000-$4,000 same game parlays on everything under, which they had the info, then you know something's up, and you know something's up here. that here Ortiz is going to throw a ball to start the inning.
So I'll ask you a question again then. We talked about this on Tuesday with Malik Beasley.
Okay.
When's the next time we're going to talk about another pro player getting in trouble? Will it happen before? Can we bet this? Will another pro player get in trouble or be under the microscope by the end of the month of July? We've had 2 in 1 week.
Yes.
We very well. I know. I'm stunned before football season.
Okay. Yeah. I'm stunned by this though. I can't. It's one thing to be an NFL player and say I didn't know I could bet. I couldn't bet at the facility.
In the facility on a basketball game.
But this stuff, betting, what the guy did with the Padres, what's alleged with Beasley, the Porter stuff. I mean, this stuff's really nuts.
I cannot wait to see how big the bets were on this.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a huge part of the story.
I'm totally with you. Absolutely. Get our NFL guide. We'll give out picks and props coming up today with Will Hill and Wes Reynolds. Over 90 pages available now. Team previews, season win totals, player props, best bets, betting projections. Lock it in as part of our football special. 175 through the Super Bowl. Every pick, every host, every guest, the 24/7 video access, all the data and tools as well. Early bird pricing ends at the end of the month. Sign up today, get your copy. VSiN.com/subscribe. Get the guide, join the team. Credible offer, 175 through the Super Bowl. VSiN.com/subscribe.
All right, it is Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Huge show coming up. Wes Reynolds at the bottom of this hour on the NFL. Paul Stone, college football coming up in about 50 minutes. Up next, we'll dive into the Major League Baseball slate. We'll update the live betting number here in the Astros-Rockies game, a year-free report, and a look at K projections. How about 16 straight unders in this spot? I will give you the details next.
What's the guarantee? Eric?
Mike, time to make history. Players in Circa Million make 5 picks against the spread each week with quarterly and full season payouts.
Circa Survivor entries choose one team each week with no point spread. The last one standing wins it all.
We have $21 million on the line. Are you in? Visit circasports.com for details.
So, Paulie, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah. Came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it, it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole nine, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's late night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
On the next A Numbers Game, happy July 4th, Independence Day. You would think that would mean we'd lollygag through our Friday show. Oh no. Fezzik in the house. July 4th or not, he can't wait for the fireworks. He can't wait to talk sports betting with us. Chris Felica, all of his bets across the sports betting landscape. Adam Burke, that's a solid booking. All his thoughts on baseball and beyond. And of course, Tim Lawson on some soccer action for you. It's A Numbers Game, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, right here at VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
I don't know, man. That was a pretty cool scene last night at Chavez Ravine in L.A. As a lifelong Dodger, maybe the best pitcher of our generation, Clayton Kershaw struck out batter number 3,000 in his career. That place it erupted for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
During that sequence after it happened, they made him do the curtain call, basically. I loved everything about it last night. Did you make it a point to go see him when he was young?
Yes, I went to opening day.
You remember
when he started
the year?
against the Pirates? Timmy Neverett had just started calling games for the Dodgers. I went up to try to meet Scully, but I did see the press box and then talked to Kershaw after the game, and he shut him down. I think they won 1-0, something like that. Ethier hit a home run, and it was great to go to. It was years ago, but I forget the year, but it was a lot. It was a good time, and I don't want to say complicated legacy, but certainly regular season. He was Sandy Koufax.
Yeah.
He just had the hiccups, and it wasn't like he was a total disaster. But he had some horrible starts in the playoffs. The St. Louis Cardinals had his number, but I'm going to cut him a break for what happened against the Astros when he shut him down in the World Series at home, and then they knew what was coming. I don't even think there was one single swing and miss in the road game when he couldn't hold the 4-run lead a couple times. So only the 21st guy to do it and the 4th lefty to get it done, and an incredible, stellar career. And you're right, it was a great atmosphere, and then they walk it off in the bottom of the 9th.
What were they in play?
Good question.
Yeah. Against the White Sox. Poor White Sox. Led the entire game. They got to Kershaw early.
Yes.
But then he struck out enough to get the number 3,000 overall. I would say that in our lifetime, I'm not going to include like Nolan Ryan, Steve Carlton. I mean, I remember them, but, we're a little bit too young for that. You can rank them in any order, but it's going to be Maddox, Randy Johnson, Pedro, Clemens, Kershaw. And Kershaw, if you told me that you think that he's the best, I'm not going to really disagree. Mm-hmm. The guy dominated the sport for a good decade. He won the MVP one year. He was so good.
Yeah. I think out of all those guys, what did I read today? Out of all those guys, he has the best ERA and innings pitched, I think. And it was for what it is. Fewest innings pitched, whatever it is, something, what he's done. So just incredible when you look at the recap of his career, what he's put together.
Sure. Right now at Coors Field, the Rockies and the Astros are playing in the 4th inning. It's 3 apiece. In-play numbers here. Astros minus 136 to win the game. The total here is 13.5. You can grab over if you think it's going to explode here in the final 6 innings that we have or thereabouts, plus 112 on the over right now. And this was Walter going today for the Astros against Freeland for the Rockies. Have not really been paying enough attention to the game now that the show started in the last 20 minutes to really give a bet on that. But what we have coming up tonight, Yankees are in some trouble, man.
Oh, yeah.
This is not a good stretch of baseball for them right now, and this is what I was talking about before the break. So the Toronto Blue Jays absolutely mauled Will Warren yesterday in the 1st inning, and they kept him in to go like 4 innings overall through almost 100 pitches. He's having a really good rookie season, not yesterday. This Blue Jays team is a machine right now, and that made it, thanks to our buddy Kevin Rogers, 16 straight starts at home when Toronto is playing there that the opposing pitcher has struck out 4 batters or fewer. They have been dynamite at making contact and not striking out. And in terms of a player prop, Clark Schmidt's number tonight is 4.5. And I know the Ballpark Pal projections at VSiN.com, they have him going under 4.5 in this game tonight. They have him at about 4.23 Ks per game.
All right. I say come right back with the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
And they've been on a great run, 21-10. It'd be only the 3rd time in history that they'd sweep the Yankees in a 4-game set. Bassett is awesome against the Yankees at home. In 4 starts, he's 3-0 with an ERA of 0.33.
Damn.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
So I'm coming right back with them and backing Bassett as well. A player prop, Goldschmidt. He is one guy who's done well against them, hitting .445 career against Bassett. So several ways you can bet it and get involved, but I think they keep this up in this hot streak. Take them out, and then you can play a player prop there with Goldschmidt with his great numbers, too. Incredible turn. I mean, you look at this, and you have to say they're real. I mean, this is a big enough sample size now.
Oh, no doubt.
And what they're doing. And then certainly the cause for concern with the Yankees, which they continue to plummet here and have issues.
Yeah, to go a little bit deeper with Chris Bassett this year specifically at home, which is where he's at today, the ERA is 2.60. Paulie on the road, it's 6.38, so almost 4 runs higher when he's away from home. The whip is 1.21 at home compared to 1.54 on the road. and he strikes out more than 2 batters per 9 more at home than he does on the road as well. So clearly, halfway through the season, do you really just want to make a blind bet on him because he's been so much better? No, but I think kind of bakes into the handicap as well. And at plus money, I mean, I think this should be pick 'em at worst.
Yep.
Here.
Yep. How about the night game? Really looking forward to this. Lugo is going. He's been unbelievable.
Well, I'm a little disappointed.
It was supposed to be Wu.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's Evans. All right. So that can get me involved on a prop, though. There were 2 props that stood out with this game tonight. Number 1, what a Rosarina's been doing. 2 for 3 last night with a bomb. 2 for 4 with a bomb. 2 for 4, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. 2 for 5, 2 for 3. That's the run this guy's on. So total bases, hits, runs, RBIs, everything you want here. Although Lugo's been solid for the Royals. That's one way to attack it, one guy to look at with Seattle. And now a guy you can jump on with no Wu now, and it's going to be Evans for Seattle is what Witt's doing. We mentioned it yesterday, 2 for 2. Had a couple runs scored in the game, and I think you can bounce right back with him. He has been crushing it on the road. The one guy that's getting it done for Kansas City, though, in this funk, as again they lost, and for the 41st time on the season held to 2 runs or fewer. Ugly. But the one guy I trust is Witt and his props here, and I would jump on board again, and you can cash those tickets like you did last night with Witt props.
Okay. I'm also surprised tonight. I know that the Mets got to Jacob Mizorowski early in the game last night, and there's a reason why that number looked fishy. When it does look fishy, there's something typically, or when it looks funny, stay away with it, and the Mets blew out the Brewers in the back end. And by the way, both teams that lost game 1 of a doubleheader, or all 3 teams, came back to win game 2. Here's 4
if you count that red thing.
Okay, if you want to do that too.
Yeah.
Quintana takes on Peterson. Both guys are lefties. How about this? First of all, Quintana splits on the year. 1.31 road ERA in 6 starts compared to a 6 home ERA. The whip is 1.22 on the road compared to 1.68 at home. Peterson splits 2.22 ERA. I think I have that backwards. I got to double check that if that's home or on the road. But here's what you really need to know about the teams batting against lefties. And I looked at the last month. I went back to June 1st. The Brewers against left-handed pitching since June 1st. They are number 1 in all of baseball in WRC+. They are number 1 in WOBA. They have the 6th lowest strikeout rate against lefties, and they're batting .311 since that date, which is number 1 overall in the league. The Mets are the exact opposite against lefties. Since June 1st, their WRC+ is 61, dead last in baseball. Their WOBA is dead last at 252. They strike out at the 11th most rate in all of baseball against lefties, and their batting average is 203, which is the 3rd worst mark in all of Major League Baseball. I know Peterson's having a fine season, but this number to me is way too high on the Mets tonight. $1.80 now at Circa, too high.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I don't trust the Mets, even though they touched up the phenom last night. The starters have been awful. They haven't had a starter go at least 6 innings in 14 games. So I'm with you there. And a prop standpoint, Hoskins hitting .440 against Peterson. You can take advantage of that too. And I know Lindor went deep to try to break out of the slump that he's been in, and they've been tinkering with the lineup. But not a lot to like with the Mets right now. And I'm with you that it's too high. Plus, it's fascinating with the Quintana angle. So good with the Mets, and now going to Milwaukee, something to prove, stick it to them.
Yep.
You got that as well. Good game.
Yeah, not too bad. Ray takes on Fott tonight. Giants against the Diamondbacks. Ray, overall, doesn't matter what you look at. His numbers are super solid. Now, I will say this about Brandon Fott. He had a very difficult stretch earlier on in the season. In his last 4 starts, he has pitched 20 innings, exactly 5 innings in all 4 starts. The ERA is 4.50. Not great. It's also not laughable. The FIP's a little bit higher than that, about 9.5 Ks per 9, and he's been a little bit unlucky with the batting average of balls in play, which is 339. League average is about 300. He also faced the Giants in San Francisco on May 13th. It did not go well for him there, but this was in the middle of that really bad skid that he had. He went 4 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned, 3 walks, and 3 Ks overall. Ray's in better shape, and I heard the guys today on Prop Points making the case that just keep riding the over in the series. They liked it over 8.5 in the game.
Okay. Ray's got the 2nd best ROI for pitchers. And you mentioned how bad Fott's numbers have been going back in the ERA of 7 in the last 11 starts. I don't mind the Giants here in this one, actually. Even they finally got a big win last night, and I'll give you a prop. Adames hitting 600 against Fott. If you want to take his props, he's owned them. You can do that. Need a proxy? Join the world's biggest proxy service in the football contest with one trip to Vegas. Trusted by thousands of players over the last 9 seasons. Winner Circle Proxies helped clients win over $9 million the last 2 years. Learn about using a trusted proxy service. Visit winnercircleproxy.com/VSiN, winnercircleproxy.com/VSiN. Come to town, get in all the contests.
Wes Reynolds joins the program. Coming up next, we'll discuss NFL futures. He has a long shot to win a division, and he's betting under on 2 of the best teams in the sport. Find out which one's next on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Season the sharp way with a VSiN Pro subscription. Right now, grab our football special for just $175. An early bird deal that gives you full VSiN access through the Super Bowl. That includes our NFL betting guide, loaded with team previews, power ratings, and season-long best bets. Plus, pro picks sent to your inbox daily, betting splits from DraftKings and Circa, live shows on the VSiN Watch app, and so much more. Don't wait. Sign up now at VSiN.com/subscribe and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
The VSiN NFL betting guide dropped earlier this week. It's available right now at vsin.com/subscribe. Wes Reynolds has a ton of bets in the guide and joins the program now on the Progressive guest line. Wes, good afternoon. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
Hey, great to be with you guys. How are you?
You very well. Thanks for popping on. We appreciate that. You are taking, a couple of flyers here on teams to win their individual divisions, right? Let's begin in the AFC. And you like Jacksonville, and you recommended them at around plus 325 to win the AFC South this year. Why is this the year for that team?
Yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Carolina this year, so hopefully I'm not a year early. But if you recall going into last season where Baker Mayfield was off that career year and then Dave Canales goes to Carolina, and a lot of guys like me were like, okay, here comes some regression for Baker Mayfield. Well, it didn't happen. He got his career highs in almost every metric you could look at. Yards, completion percentage, yards per attempt, etc., largely because of Liam Cohen. Liam Cohen took over as the offensive coordinator in Tampa Bay. Now he's the head coach in Jacksonville. So he comes in. He also brings in Grant Udinski, who's a first-time coordinator at just 29 years of age. But he was on the Minnesota staff. He was the right-hand man for Wes Phillips and for Kevin O'Connell in Sam Darnold's career resurgence in his career season last season. So I think Trevor Lawrence, who I've kind of been a little bit neutral on. I'm not a huge backer. I'm not a huge detractor. But Trevor Lawrence, I think, finally gets some really good coaching offensively. I think they're going to have a much more dynamic offense with this team. The offensive line has improved. Brian Thomas Jr., we know, was the best rookie receiver in the league last season, even better than Maserati Marv. And now you bring in Travis Hunter. Now you bring in De'Ami Brown. I think this offense is going to cook. Defense makes me a little nervous, even though they got a couple good pass rushers up there with Josh Hines-Allen, Trayvon Walker. But they're going to have to get to the quarterback a little bit more because this secondary is a little bit leaky. But with a wide open division with Tennessee still, I think, rebuilding, a lot of questions in Indianapolis, not just about the quarterback, but about the future of Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard, the sad passing of Jim Irsay. So his daughters take over the team, and, this is their team now. And this is their decision. So I think Steichen and Ballard could be on thin ice there in Indianapolis, and then the Texans the rightful favorite. But I think Jacksonville offensively is going to have the most firepower in this division.
Okay, interesting. As a Colt fan, I'm going to make a prop. Over-under starts for Richardson this season, 5.5. Over-under.
Under for me.
Wow.
I don't know if they have quite the faith in Anthony Richardson. Now he's had this shoulder thing pop up. And when they signed Daniel Jones, I was like, that guy's going to end up being the starting quarterback, I think, in Indianapolis because he's got experience and, maybe it's a little bit more safe. And like I mentioned with Steichen and Ballard, their jobs, I think, I'm not saying they're totally in jeopardy, but they're certainly in question, I think, in Indianapolis with this new ownership because now the daughters, they have to make the decisions with what they want to do, not what their father necessarily would want to do as they're the owners of the team. So these guys, if they're under pressure, they're going to trust a guy with a little bit more experience than a guy that's still very much a developmental guy like Anthony Richardson.
Okay. We're on the same play here. I want your breakdown in a second. Here's what I wrote in the guide. Lions under 10.5 wins. Both coordinators gone. 11 of their 17 games are against teams coming off playoff spots, 7 on the road. They play going into the Sunday slate of the divisional round, 6 teams were left. They play 5 of them on the road. Campbell's coach of the year if they go over. What say you on Detroit?
Well, I'm with you, Paulie, and you hit a lot of it there. New coordinators there with Ben Johnson gone, now coaching Chicago, Aaron Glenn, now coaching the New York Jets. So you get John Morton as offensive coordinator, and he has not been an OC since 2017 when he was one and done with the Jets. And Kelvin Shepard, a former player, he gets promoted to DC. So just based on paper, you would think that they're going to be a little bit down. And then the offensive line's a little bit of a concern for me, too. Frank Ragnow retired. Kevin Zeitler signed with Tennessee. You have Glasgow, who's very good, but going to move to the right side. So you might have 2 rookies there at center and also at left guard. So that's going to be an adjustment. I still think they're explosive skill position-wise, but you also have that schedule you mentioned, Paulie, with trips to Baltimore, Kansas City, Washington, Philadelphia. They only had 4 outdoor games last year, and this year they play 7. And, Jared Goff, not saying he's quite a pumpkin outdoors, but certainly the numbers are a lot worse than they are there in Ford Field or in any indoor stadiums. And then they also, they were fairly, I don't want to say lucky, but fortunate in close games. They went 7-2 last season in those one-score games. So I think with the schedule just being harder and the teams in the division getting better, I think Green Bay is going to be good. I think Chicago, we clearly think that they're going to improve and, don't want to necessarily count out Minnesota, even though they don't have Darnold anymore. Tougher division, tougher schedule. I do think the Lions regress.
Let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, Wes Reynolds, talking NFL futures. Our guide is out now. The VSiN NFL Betting Guide. Get it at vsin.com/subscribe. So that's one of the powers in the NFC that you're going to bet the under. Are you going to do the same thing with another power, the defending champs in Philadelphia?
I am with the Eagles. Had them to win the Super Bowl last year. It's obviously hard to repeat, and they're the reigning champions. But there's always a price to pay, right? When you win the Lombardi Trophy, and it's usually you lose your players. But this year it was the coaches for the Eagles because Kellen Moore, of course, he now goes and takes over as the head coach in New Orleans and has a major rebuild down there. And a lot of the offensive staff, I think, went with him. And the Eagles were, I think, a good bounce-back candidate last year because remember how much it fell apart late in the season where they had that bad November and December, and then they were one and done and lost to Tampa Bay. Well, last year, the year before where everything went wrong, it went right. And the Eagles won all the close games. They were 8-1 in one-score games. They only had 6 games against playoff teams. Well, now you have 11 games against playoff teams this year, and you don't have back-to-back home games all season. It's either home, away, and then home, away, away. You never have consecutive home games. And at the end of the year, you got that back-to-back road schedule around Christmas where you go to Washington, then you go to Buffalo, and then you get the Commanders again. And I think there's a lot of people high on the Commanders this year that look at what we saw. Jaden Daniels, I don't think is going to get any worse. He's only going to get better, and they put some more weapons around him. So this is just a really tough schedule for Philadelphia. They also, have lost some leadership off that team as well with some of their veterans over the last couple of years that obviously were of age to retire, but still a little bit of retooling. There's a lot of talent on this team, but I think 11.5 and getting to 12 wins kind of a big ask for these guys.
Yes. Okay, yeah. So you're down on both the Lions and the Eagles. You wrote about the NFC West in the guide. Is the team that you like the most in that conference from that division then?
For the most part, I would say the 49ers, and I know there's some love for the Rams, and I guess rightfully so with Stafford coming back on that restructured deal, and it's a very good defense, and they also had Devontae Adams. But I think the 49ers, they've been like every other year, it seems like, guys, where everything either goes right or they have the most rotten injury luck.
Yep.
And they had so much poor injury luck last year where they were, and it was really from the get-go when Christian McCaffrey had the injury. He did not start with this team until week 9. Deebo Samuel, who's now been traded, was out. So they've had a lot of injuries. So if they can stay healthy, I still think there's a dynamic offense there. They committed to Brock Purdy finally, where they committed the 5 years, $250. And you have McCaffrey back healthy. You have some depth now, too, in that backfield. When McCaffrey was out, I thought Garendo showed something. I thought Jordan Mason showed something. And I think you've got a good receiving core. When Ayuk gets back, you still have George Kittle. There's a potential for this offense to cook, and I trust Kyle Shanahan as an offensive play caller. Defense is doing a little bit of retooling, but I think they get an upgrade with coordinator there. So the 49ers, they lost all these close games. They had rotten injury luck. I think that regresses to the positive for them this year. And the Rams are certainly going to be a challenge, but I like the 49ers in that division, and I like them to go to the Super Bowl out of the NFC.
All right, all good points. Our friend Ozzy wants to say thank you and give you a fist bump for putting him on the Gim Reaper. He has Gim 50-1 first-round leader. So it's not over. There's still a couple people out there, but Gim 9 under, 50-1, close to cashing that ticket.
Yeah, I hope he hangs on. I have him 100-1 to win it outright. And this is a guy on approach today. He just killed it with the irons. The problem with Gim, as you guys well know, following this each week, not the best putter. He lost a stroke putting actually on the greens today and still shot 9 under, the best round of his career with the 62 this morning.
Wow. Very good. You can follow Wes on X. He is at Wes Reynolds 1. Again, he has picks littered throughout the VSiN NFL betting guide, available now at vsin.com/subscribe. Thank you, Wes. We appreciate that.
You bet, guys. Thanks for having me.
There you go. And he was on the Progressive Guest line. He also has the Panthers winning the NFC South. So
Stepping
he's
out. Stepping out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally with him on the Eagles and Lions, especially the Lions. That schedule is all-time brutal.
That's bad.
All time. I mean, to think about going into divisional round on Sunday, there's 6 teams left, obviously. They play 5 of them on the road, and then who they play on the road, and that gauntlet that they have to go through, and then no Johnson, no Glenn. Going to be tough.
I stated my case for Detroit last year.
Yeah.
Had to be it. And maybe I'll be wrong on that because they were 15. Well, I was wrong because they didn't win the whole thing. But without the injuries, I think they were the best team in football and probably going to win the Super Bowl. This year, I can't get behind them. The coordinators are gone. All those players still in their prime last year. I think they take a step back. The schedule was much easier last year than this year. Win-lose up next. It's the latest in the season. They've been in first place in almost a decade. Paulie with the details coming up next.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool day. Stadium Swim is the only thing like it in the world.
Your favorite VSiN shows and personalities are now available to download as podcasts. Catch every hour of our live broadcast with VSiN Best Bets, or find your go-to show and download it directly. Get instant reactions to last night's games, sharp analysis on today's biggest matchups, and everything in between. Whether you're commuting, working out, or just catching up, VSiN lets you take the action with you wherever and whenever you want. Search VSiN on your favorite podcast platform and get in on the action with VSiN, the sports betting network. last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Paulie Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
All right, Mitch is right. Great night and atmosphere last night at Dodger Stadium. Kershaw, 20th pitcher, and the fourth lefty to reach 3,000 strikeouts, the fourth fastest to reach the mark, and he has the lowest career ERA in the live ball era among those with at least 1,500 innings, even though he's doubled that. Incredible career. Even with the what happened in the playoffs. Blue Jays win again last night, tied for first, latest in the season since 2016.
I can't believe that.
I can't either. They go for the sweep today. Dodgers 315 up to 355. Trailed 4-2 in the ninth. Walked it off. Marte 6-1 to hit a bomb. Arozarena plus 450 did it again. All rise. Judge plus 225. How about Profar? Off the 80-game suspension, first game back, bomb.
Sure,
Plus,
why not?
Yeah.
Happened with Acuna, game back from the injury.
Profar plus 650, Seager 3-1, Olsen, who's on fire, 3-1, Yelich 6-1. Wimbledon, Samez plus 450, She won and Holmgren won in a wild 5-set affair, 5-1. Subscribe, be part of the team, VSiN.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos at Paulie Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in, we'll put you on. Look at this. We go to Thailand. The elephant goes into the convenience store, and he's hungry. Absolutely. Give me some snacks, huh? Give me that. Apparently a regular occurrence in Thailand. And there it is, filming it, walking in. A couple Twizzlers. Grabbed a bag of chips, and on about his business.
Hey, big gulps, huh, buddy?
Go on now. Come on, shoo. Shoo.
Get out of here.
There he is.
You know you can't be in here, buddy.
Yes. Well, we've seen several with the Bears, right? The Bears go into the 7-Elevens and what have you. And here is a little store in the corner in Thailand, and the elephant walks on in and a little snack for me. What do you got today? Don't feed them. They'll come back. They'll keep coming.
Paul, they're like squirrels over here.
The best is when, I don't know where it was, but remember the deer came in? And then the guy gave the deer a snack, and then he brought all his friends back.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
That was a good one. That's strong. All right, it's been a while, but we haven't talked TV shows in a long time. Win Some. Your Friends and Neighbors on Apple. Great start. Have you started it yet?
No.
Still too busy? John Hamm, very good. Great open, great close. And recommended by David Sampson as well. Poop Cruise on Netflix.
Oh, that sounds terrific.
Do you remember when that happened? The cruise ship from hell in 2012 where the people were stranded? The thing went out and they were...
vaguely familiar.
It's called Trainwreck. There's 4 or 5 episodes. One of them is Poop Cruise. It's a true story. CNN got record ratings when they covered it about 10, 15 years ago. It's absolutely bananas. Squid Game Season 3.
How was that?
Well done. Very good.
I think I was higher on part 2 than you were.
Yeah, it wasn't that high on Season 2.
No, I like part 2. I thought it was good.
You liked 1, right? You're blown away with the open.
For those who have never watched Season 1.
You don't know what you're getting into.
How do you
Red
watch
light, green light.
Oh, my God. How do you watch the first episode of Squid Games and say, nah, not for me, I can't watch the rest of it, right?
I know.
It's incredible.
Yeah, the games are fantastic in Season 3.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Are you finished?
I finished it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
There's only 6 episodes.
All right.
And then they'll do a Season 4.
I thought 3 was it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they're going to... Okay.
I got you.
I'm not going to say anything. Lose Some. Karen does a great job, sends these in every day. Thank you to Karen. This is awesome. With the dog, they're on the beach. And this guy's trying to dig a hole and get comfortable, and he's dumping the sand all over his brother, right? He's just like, can I just lay down in peace and catch some rays? Finally, will you get comfortable and find your spot? It's like, how long are you going to dig, buddy? I mean, he keeps going to try to dig a hole and get his spot to watch the waves come in, and this other guy's just like, he's buried in it. Buried in all the sand. Finally, he sits down. Okay, good. I got my spot, right? This is awesome. One day, there was a tennis ball stuck in the tree. So now the golden retriever thinks the tennis balls grow on the tree and wants ones every time. Look at his face. What? Give me the tennis ball. He's looking up. No, that was just a freak occurrence, my friend. Yeah. The one time there was a ball up there, it was a fluke. They don't grow on trees. That's it. It's a one-time deal.
Boy, they're memories, huh?
Sure, right. And the look on his face as well. I do have a couple Lose Some, though. I thought the Season 4 of The Bears an abomination. Awful. Then they announced after low ratings and horrible reviews that they're going to do Season 5.
Now,
there were many people saying just end it already after Season 4. What do you want to be? Are you a cooking show? Are you a relationship show? The flashbacks To me, it's enough already. They can be good. There's been some good episodes, but the flashbacks all the time, and it's just move the story along, please.
I will say this. Honestly, they could have ended it at the end of season 2, in my opinion. There really wasn't much of a reason to go on after that. They could have, I guess, to expand on the backdrop, and all they needed really was like a 4-episode season 3, put a bow tie on that bad boy, or wrap a bow around it, I should say, and then boom, you're done. That's it, no more.
I'm so pissed off.
Like, I like season 3, but
happens?
I don't really even care about season 4, to be honest.
Are you going to make it? Are you going to get the star? Is the guy coming in with the review? I mean, move it along, man. Come on. I didn't think The Waterfront was that good either. It's trying to be like Ozarks Part 2 on Netflix. I like the Holton guy, the guy who was in Mindhunter. Very good.
I will chime in here. When you were gone last week, I was stunned, and I brought this up on the air. I could not believe that ESPN decided to go with Shane Gillis to host the ESPYs this year. The most excited I've been since Norm Macdonald hosted back in 1998.
Sure.
Right? I don't think I've watched since 1998. And I was told, Kevin Rogers said you need to watch, if you like Shane Gillis, you have to watch Tires on Netflix.
Bill 80 loves it.
Tires?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a very good start.
Then okay.
Yeah, excellent. And they're only like 20-ish minute episodes.
All right. Lose some. Sad news. Michael Madsen, actor, passed away today at 67. He is Mr. Blonde in Reservoir Dogs. A great performance. He's also Sonny Black in Donnie Brasco.
It's one of my favorite mob movies of all time.
It's an unbelievable book. Joe Pistone.
Yep.
Great movie. Loved it. Great cast. Loved Depp. Loved Madsen. Loved Pacino. And this guy has been... I can't believe his resume. Most of the stuff I don't even recognize. This guy did 13 movies in 2012.
Did a lot. He said he had to pay the bills.
Oh, yeah.
Basically for that. But,
he lived in Malibu.
I didn't know this. He was in The Natural. I don't know what kind of part he had. I haven't watched The Natural in 30 years, but he was in The Doors, Thelma and Louise, Free Willy, Mulholland Falls, and the Kill Bill movies as well.
Yeah.
I read this today. He told Tarantino that he wanted Mr. Pink, which was Buscemi. The reason why he wanted that role is because he had more dialogue with Harvey Keitel. Tarantino said, "You're blonde or nobody." He goes,
Wow.
"I'll take it." And I'll tell you this, I think I associate that song when he's cutting the guy's ear off. Stuck in the middle
Yeah.
with you. I think I associate that song with that movie more than any other song and movie that I've ever watched in my entire life. Every time that song comes on, and yes, I listen to it once in a while, I can't get Reservoir Dogs out of my head.
The dialogue is so good in that movie.
Oh, my God.
That and Pulp Fiction, how Tarantino could write that.
Here's another one. Tarantino wanted him to play John Travolta's role in Pulp Fiction. But Michael Madsen already agreed to do Wyatt Earp, so he couldn't do it.
Oh! Saved Travolta's career.
Of course it did.
Oh, guy was doing Look Who's Talking crap.
Yeah.
One bad beat. White Sox, 3-1, led by 2 in the 9th. Dodgers get a 3 spot and walk it off. Introducing the $500 try from G-Bank, First Bet, and VSiN. All you need to do is open a G-Bank Visa Signature credit card in the first 90 days. Deposit and play through $1,000 at First Bet to trigger the $500 trifecta. $200 in cashback rewards on your G-Bank Visa Signature credit card. First Bet gives you a $100 deposit match. We complete it with the free VSiN Pro subscription through August 31st. $200 value. The $500 try from G-Bank, First Bet, and VSiN. Go to VSiN.com/GBank. One-time promotion limited to customers opening a new account in response to this offer. Apply today. Terms and conditions apply. Go get them.
Lorraine and I used to watch Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs every single year. It's been like 5 years since we've watched them, but we made it a thing like, hey, it's time to watch these 2 films again. And every time we would watch Pulp Fiction, I would tell myself, that's a top 5 movie I've ever watched in my entire life. And then like a day or 2 later, we'd watch Reservoir Dogs, and I'd say, my God, that's better than Pulp Fiction.
A tough call.
Yep. They're that good. Wasn't Cannes Film Festival blown away when they watched Pulp Fiction?
Yeah, and then some people left Reservoir Dogs because of how graphic. You want to talk about bad acting, good acting, whatever. How Roth does that scene where he gets shot in the gut.
Oh, boy.
And how he has to play that. But it was so graphic with the blood and how that's... But I love that scene, too, with Keitel. You're going to be okay. Say the words. You're going to be okay. And then how about the scene where Roth is laying on the ground when there's blood everywhere, and then the cop has just been, got the work done on him, and then they figure out who they are, and they're talking, and he saves his life.
The dialogue in Reservoir Dogs not only holds up to this day, it's one of the best movies I've ever watched in my life for dialogue. That whole scene again, right away when they're talking about tipping. You don't tip at McDonald's. Why should I tip here? You know, I mean, it's incredible back then. All right, it's Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Up next, we're going to get into college football as professional sports bettor Paul Stone joins the program. He will analyze Conference USA with a couple of win totals and an outright winner. Find out who he likes next here on VSiN.
Introducing the $500 trifecta. Use your GBank Visa signature credit card within 3 months of account opening and deposit